So Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the nation last night. And honestly, I think I felt my soul just leave my body halfway through. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had like the TV on, like I was paying attention. And then in the end, I couldn't genuinely tell you what the point was. It was like watching someone read a corporate mission statement for 20 minutes in some boring meeting while trying to sound inspirational, but they sound as cringe as ever. So, what was this about? You see, technically, this address was about the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence in South Africa. Important topic, right? Absolutely. Gender-based violence is a massive crisis in South Africa. Women and children are being murdered at like horrifying rates. Can't walk safe in the street when you're a woman or a child. So we need real, actual solutions and consequences for these perpetrators. So what did Cyril give us? Well, he talked about how GBV is a scourge and a stain to our society. He mentioned the government's commitments and concern. He referenced various programs and initiatives. He said all we need is to work together. He called on men to do better. He promised the government is taking this seriously. And that's it. What, were you expecting something else? That's literally it. No new policies, no concrete announcement, no budget allocations, no life sentences or death sentences, no specific comments, no accountability measures, just vibes. Cyril, right? It's just Cyril standing there with his best concerned president face while reading words that he probably didn't write and that would have been written by an AI trained exclusively on previous government speeches about social issues, because that's how recycled it sounded. It was so painfully generic. I feel so envious of you if you missed this speech. This was Cyril Ramaphosa on factory settings. This is the default Cyril we've known for all these years. It's like someone programmed a robot to overthrow Zuma just to give presidential addresses and feed it every generic political speech from the last decade. This is the Cyril Ramaphosa formula. And I'm going to tell it to you. I'm going to tell you and I'm going to guarantee that you must apply this to any issue and you will win. Number one, acknowledge the problem exists. Number two, call it a scourge or use some other dramatic word no one is ever used to. Number three, you must reference our democratic values and our constitution working on it. Number four, you must mention initiatives that the government is already doing. And number five, you must call for all of society to work together. Number six, promise the government is committed. And number seven, you must end it with some hopeful statement about the future, or maybe crack a joke to get everyone distracted. Number eight, leave without asking questions and don't give anyone a chance to ask questions. And that's the formula. You should replace GPV with load shedding, corruption, unemployment, price of bread, and the speech can be exactly the same. Just swap out a few words and you're good to go. Literally, Ramaphosa has literally made a life hack. That's a life hack I've just given you. Apply the speech to any situation, even your mom shouting at you for breaking the plate. It's gonna work. It's insane how Cyril manages to talk in these nation addresses for 20 minutes while saying absolutely nothing of substance. It's so impressive in the worst possible way. Like, he's gonna say something like, we have established the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. And it sounds good, right? It sounds like action because it's what you'd expect naturally. But then you realize that council was established 10 years ago and you genuinely have no idea what it's actually accomplished because he doesn't tell you anything. He just mentions it exists and he moves on. He will reference the international strategic plan like that's supposed to mean something to people whose daughters are being murdered. I mean, cool. Cool beans, you have a plan, brother. What's the plan? What's in the plan? What are the results? How many perpetrators have been arrested since your plan? How many cases have been prosecuted? Basically, what's changed? He won't tell any of you any of that because then you'd realize nothing has actually changed. So instead, he just mentions the plan exists, hopes you'll be impressed, where there's paperwork somewhere, and then the ones that actually do the research like myself will be called conspiracy theorists. Where's the anger? Where's the fire? Because here's what really gets me. Gender-based violence is one of the most horrific crises facing this country. Women are being murdered by intimate partners at rates that should have us in a state of national emergency. Kids are being abused. The statistics are absolutely soul crushing. You think Jeffrey Epstein was a problem? We have thousands of them in South Africa. Thousands of people with money who genuinely think they're above the law and who think they can do whatever the hell they want to children. And there's no anger. There's no sense of urgency. There's just this practiced, measured tone that makes it sound like Ramaphosa is discussing quarterly GDP figures instead of women getting killed. Compare that to when New Zealand's Jacinda Ardern addressed her country after the Christchurch, after the Christchurch whole thing. She was visibly emotional. She announced specific policy changes immediately. She banned semi-automatic weapons within days. You could tell she actually gave 2 cents about the situation. With Cyril, I genuinely can't tell if he cares or if this is just another item on his presidential to-do list. You know, address the nation about GPV. Check. Now, madam, what's for lunch? Like, what is this? We need to work together. Is that the best thing you got? That's what grinds my gears. When Cyril does that thing where he talks about how all of society and society's men needs to come together to solve this. Dude, obviously society needs to not be terrible, but you're the president. You have actual power. You can actually do things. Why are you acting like the power's on us? You can increase police funding for GPV units. You can fast track prosecutions. You can create harsher sentences. You can fix the court system so that the cases don't take 5 years. You can fire the police commissioners who are not only not taking this seriously, but are actively involved in it as well, who are on the payroll of these pedophiles. You can publicly name and shame officials who are failing. But instead, what Cyril will do is he's going to put his blame on society and say society can fix the government, or sort of. And then he'll just exit and then occasionally mention they have a plan now and again. It sucks. That is the classic move of someone who doesn't want to take the extra step of responsibility. Everything is everyone's problem. What a way to escape a situation, which means nothing is specifically your problem. Are you kidding me? This is who Cyril Ramaphosa is. This is who Cyril Ramaphosa has always been. He is not a reformer. He is not a fighter. He's not a comrade. He's not someone who's going to rock the boat or make bold moves. He is nothing but a generic, confused blob of every generic precedent you could ever think of, and does the absolute minimum required to keep the status quo rolling. We saw it with load shedding. We saw it with the looting. We are committed to solving this. Meanwhile, Eskom was collapsing further every single year of his presidency. And you know what happened in the looting. We saw it with the corruption as well. We're fighting corruption. We're going to start the Madlanga Commission. Meanwhile, the same cadres keep getting redeployed to new positions. Cops with rape and criminal records are still cops. We saw it with unemployment during COVID. No, we have a plan, don't worry, guys. But young people till this day can't find jobs, and the economy barely grows. And now we are seeing it with gender-based violence. I feel sorry for all these ladies who genuinely believe there's going to be a change. Like, women are still dying and nothing fundamentally changes. I can guarantee you there was a woman that died this weekend. This weekend, month end. You know what would have made last night's address worth watching? Concrete action. Announce you're doubling the budget for GPV courts, for example. Announce you're implementing the death penalty on all these people. Announce you're creating specialized police units in every province. Announce mandatory training for every police officer on handling GBV cases. There's so many solutions. I'm not saying follow mine specifically. Announce that you're personally going to review every single case where every single perpetrator gets bail and someone dies, and officials will be held accountable. Give us something, Cyril. Give us anything other than we acknowledge this problem and we have some initiatives and everyone needs to work together and we call on the nation's men to look after our sisters and children. Bruv, give us something different. But that would require you to actually stick your neck out. That would require Cyril Ramaphosa to actually make decisions that upset some people. That would basically require leadership. And leadership is not impressing everybody. Leadership is not what you get with a factory settings president. That's the bottom line. Last night's address was everything wrong with Cyril Ramaphosa's presidency in one convenient package. Zero solutions, zero accountability, acknowledgement of problems without solutions, promises without timelines, commitments without accountability. It's the political equivalent of your mom saying, yeah, we'll see, when you ask for something, and then you get disappointed as a kid because she probably forgot about it because there's so much in her mind. The thing is that should be in Cyril's mind is the country. He is the president. But he tells you, yeah, don't worry, we're dealing with it. Then nothing happens. Women deserved better than a speech. I'm sorry to be that guy, but the country deserved better than that speech. We all deserved a president who actually seems to give a flying ham sandwich and is willing to do something about it. Instead, we got the most generic Cyril Ramaphosa you will ever get. Ramaphosa on factory settings, delivering another forgettable address that will change. You want to know what? Absolutely nothing. Same old Cyril, same old disappointment, same old South Africa.